Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to work on some injectors today. Yesterday we pulled 3 injectors out of Braden's 8V71, and I thought I'd go through the process of freeing them up. I've made another video previously, but there's a few things I did that I wouldn't do now. So I've learned from my mistakes, but I'll put Braden's channel below. And the other option, instead of taking the injectors out, you can free them up in the truck. But I felt that it was just, it was too cold for one, and 2, possibly faster if I just bring them home and do them in the shop. To do them in the truck, check out old Two-Stroker's channel. Wayne's the guy's name, and he does I think it's an 8V92T if I remember correctly. He does it in the truck. So have a look at his channel. I'll put the link below, the video link below, and you can see what he did. It's a toss-up. I don't know which one's faster, but either or. I just didn't want to freeze my butt off in the cold there. So anyway, I'll take you through what I do, and then I'll run through an injector and all the bits and pieces so that you guys can see it. So we'll set you down and proceed. So I freed up 2 of Braden's injectors. They freed up pretty quickly. And then this is the last one. So the plunger is not bottomed out, but it's almost at full travel. And then the rack is seized. So, and I'll show you what I do to free them up. So what I do is I basically just put the injector in here and pull the bottom nozzle off. And then I just take the nozzle off. And then we're left with the barrel. You can see the old stale fuel in there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. And I don't disturb that because the nozzles, they either work or they don't. And I'll test one for you. So the plunger is not quite bottomed out. It's got another 1/8 of an inch of travel to go. But the barrel and the plunger are frozen. And I'll show you an example of that, just so you get a clear picture of what I'm talking about. So there's the barrel, this piece here. And that's the plunger. This is a rejected 9B90 because it's worn out. But anyway, we'll proceed now to free this up. So no big tools required for this. Just gentle is all I gotta say. Be gentle. So I use brass components because these parts in here are hardened steel. And the brass is soft. So I made this little tool to tap out the plunger. So I just give it a small tap. So this one here is quite seized. Small hammer, just light taps. I don't bottom it out. Actually, I'd have to turn this tool a little bit more to get full travel on it, but I just find it's adequate for what we do. And then, so the rack is still seized. The injector is basically still seized, but we'll just tap it back and forth here gently. a soft hammer, obviously. Alright, so we're back to where we were before for travel on the plunger, and then we just do the same thing over and over. WD-40 or whatever lubricant you want to use, and gentle tapping. So I think this one's probably the worst one here because it's requiring quite a bit of manipulation. The other alternative obviously is send these injectors out, get them rebuilt. We're just trying to save Braden some money and whatnot. It won't take too much longer before this injector is going to be free. And on a previous video, I was manipulating the rack. Don't do that. Just use the plunger back and forth, and that will free up the rack. I'll show you that in a second here. It doesn't take long. Some injectors are faster than others. See, not much force required now. One of these injectors was like 5 minutes, and bam, it popped. Tapping mine. Check out Wayno's channel. Old two-stroker. He did this in the truck with a pair of vice grips and whatnot. It's almost ready. Almost free. Okay, so it just popped there. So now, see the racks moving back and forth freely? And now I can pull that barrel off, and gently just pull that barrel off, and then we can put some WD-40 in there. So that's the plunger there. And we'll just have a little peek and make sure it's not scarred or anything. These are relatively new injectors. Somebody had recently replaced them, so they're in really nice shape. There's no wear on them. I mean, you can take them totally apart to confirm that, but I'm confident that that's what we have here. I have gone through these injectors. I've got a whole bunch upstairs for my 453T and the 353 and the 6V71 and whatnot. And I've done a lot of these injectors, freed them up and sort of rebuilt them. I wish I had a calibration stand and test stand for them, but I don't. And they are very expensive to come by, or hard to come by too, so that would be nice to have, I'll tell you. I used to test my own injectors, my own Bosch injectors for the Cummins and the Mercedes, and rebuild them myself. So yeah, we'll just put some WD-40 in here. And make sure the plunger and the rack move nicely, which they do. Yeah. Okay. And now I'll just give it a blow with compressed air. So simple. I didn't time that, but I think this one was, 20 minutes to free up. But don't hammer on the rack. You don't need to. It just breaks the worm gear in there. I'll show you that gear as well. From personal experience, and some of you guys have commented about that as well, and you were correct. Okay. So now we're going to test this injector. And by all means, this is not very scientific. It's just seeing if they spray. These injectors are 7 holes in them. So. So try them with fuel off. Get it kind of primed. This is a mix of transmission fluid and engine oil. So just to prime the injector. Alright, so within the block, you guys will see that. Okay, that's fuel off, out, that's full fuel, so fuel off, and we'll manipulate this plunger, and there's no fuel. Then we go like that, full fuel, and you should see some nice spray patterns. See that? There, those are working nice. As simple as that. And then I'll give this some compressed air. Kind of wash it all off. And that's as simple as that. So there we have it, guys. See that? That should be that free. See that? And that is a nice injector. The rack moves freely. And then we know we won't have a stuck. Oops. This one's the coldest. Making a liar out of me. There we go. So there's Braden's injectors all freed up, and I'll run you through the bits and pieces of these injectors. I didn't want to take Braden's all apart. It's not necessary as long as they're working, and these ones look like they're relatively new, and I can tell that just by the condition of the plunger top here. And the barrels and whatnot, they're like new, so no need for new injectors. Let's see if I can get all the pieces for you. So this is one of my 9B90s that I intend on putting in the 453T. Let's see, so this is just a jacket that goes around the barrel, and then pieces of the plunger. I'll lay them all out, see if I can get this out here. There we go. So this is the heart of the unit here as well, the nozzle. Try to organize all this. All right, so we have the body here and the rack. And that comes apart by taking the gear out. Let's do that. So I'll pull this out for you. So there's a spacer, and then there's the little helix gear here. This is the delicate part. So that's why I say don't hammer on this rack. So the rack comes out here, and these gears just run in here and rotate the plunger. All right, and the plunger's cut with a helix in it. Depending on the position of the plunger, determines how much fuel's getting into the injector. So as that turns, it adds or reduces fuel as required, and this just moves up and down. Very simple system. Mechanical unit injection injector. Any fuel that's not used comes out the return and back into the fuel tank. And there's the body empty of all its parts. So laid out, it is super simple. And here's the plunger top. This one's got a little bit more miles on it. You can tell by the wear on it. And then you got your spring. Of course, your body, and then that just moves up and down like that. So lay it all out. So I've rebuilt, like I said, I've got a horde of injectors. I've rebuilt a whole bunch of them. I really shouldn't use the word rebuilt. I've refurbished them with their existing parts if they were good injectors like these ones. To calibrate them, you need a proper Detroit machine, and they calibrate them on an A to D fuel delivery, so you want to get them as closely matched as you can. So you know, you want to get an A and a B, or an A and a C, or a B and a D, or a C and a D. You know, you want to get them closely matched. So there's A, B, C, D, and there's a min and a max delivery amount. So, but you need to calibrate them. You really need that machine. I mean, you can swap tips and barrels but you just don't know what you're getting once you start doing that without the calibration machine. So I was going to go build my own injectors, but again, without that calibration unit, you just don't know what kind of fuel you're getting. Maybe that's an experiment for another day. And there's the gear. It just slides up over the injector here. All right, let's see if that makes sense to you. Oh, let's not forget my spacer. So there's the nozzle, and there's the associated parts for the nozzle. I forget the name. I have to pull out the manual to have a look. Then you got your jacket. Then you got your barrel here. Your plunger, the spacer, that sprocket, and then you've got your rack, and then you've got the body, and of course the plunger or tappet or whatever you want to call that. And that's as simple as that, all laid out. It just doesn't get simpler than that. So there you have it. That's basically how you free up the injectors, guys. So that's how I do it. I mean, there's many ways of doing it, but as you guys have told me in previous comments that don't hammer on the rack, and that's correct. So I have damage these by manipulating them. So anyway, again guys, thanks for watching, subscribing, and commenting, and we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks a lot, and take care.